This is Energetic Eats, brought to you by the Fort St. John Co-op. You're at home here.
Very excited about today's episode as we're going to be enjoying some cured meats and talking all about it with Joseph from VanRook Smokehouse. How's it going today, Joseph?
Not bad, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you for coming in and bringing some of your products by. You've, of course, been on this show before.
Yeah.
And we talked a bit about your charcuterie boards and all kind of the cured meats you've done. And you've done a bit of experimenting since then. It's sort of the off-season of your products. So but why don't we start first with kind of what you're all about and how you came to be in this business of curing meats and preparing charcuterie boards.
Yeah, so what I did was my wife and I, we traveled through Europe, and I really enjoyed a lot of the different meats and the different markets that we went to and where we got those meats, and I just was really interested in starting to try and figure out how to make that myself. I do come from a family of makers. My father was a baker, and his father was a baker, and I just don't feel like getting up at 4 a.m. as sometimes they have to do. So I figured I'd try this route instead, and so I went to school at SAIT in Calgary there. Where they have a butchery and charcuterie management program. Mm-hmm. So I got to learn all of the European processes and meat styles and different stuff like that. And then I learned how to make, the coppa, the pancettas, salamis, and different kinds of European sausages. And then I decided I'd come back and try selling it here.
Very cool. Is there, you kind of mentioned Europe, right? Is anything we kind of see generally based on the European style? Or is there like a Canadian style that you could have, for example, studied? Or an American style maybe that you could have studied, but you chose Europe specifically?
Well, it's all kind of like, it all descends from that European style anyways.
Sure.
Any of like your hot dogs or your sausages or smokies or anything like that. Like it's all kind of descends from that region anyways. And which even within that region, there's different variations of everything. I think there's probably about 100 different chorizo recipes if you really wanted to look it up, and all just different locally in either Mexico or Spain. It's just kind of all spread out from that area. So so it's just kind of all connected now at this point, where we can all just get to try our own kind of local twists on things as well.
Absolutely. And if I remember right, you work out of and sell your stuff at the Peace Vale Meat Shop. So this is made from meat that's been harvested here and kind of produced here, some of it, eh?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you, I'm going to put you on if you're watching the video, I'll put you full screen there. Kind of show us what you've brought for us to kind of test out today.
All right. So, right here we have the dry aged coppa or capicola.
Okay.
So this one has like a, kind of like a cayenne and chili pepper rub on the outside this time.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So it's kind of got like a slight kick to it when you bite into it, kind of like the traditional style. And then this here is pancetta, which is like bacon, except if bacon was super fancy and hung out in a dry aged chamber for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then right here we've got the Genoa salami, which is one of the newer ones that I tried, just in a different format. So it's a larger salami. And then we got the Parmesan salami right here, which is the most popular one I found that I make, where it's got 2-year aged Parmesan just grated right into the batter. And then it just adds like a very nice tangy, like obviously the Parmesan flavor to it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Which one you had mentioned, I think earlier, when I was asking to come on the show, actually, that you were kind of experimenting. You were trying a few new things again. Which one of those is kind of the new one for you?
I would say the pancetta is definitely the newest one,
okay.
Which is this guy here again.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to try making a pancetta just because I haven't really successfully necessarily done it before. So I made a test one earlier in the year that was just a small block.
Yeah.
And I really liked the flavors that I had kind of put together in it. I think it's got like juniper and fennel and a couple of different flavors. And what I usually do is take the meat, do do the salt rub and the cure on it with all the spices and herbs and let it sit in a vacuum sealed bag. So it just kind of like really sucks it in, all the flavors, and leave it in there for about like 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And then just kind of keep rotating it, letting the flavors really just get in there. And then I'll hang it. I hung it all in my chamber for since January was when I hung it up. And so I just took it out this past week here. So
well, we timed this out perfectly.
Yeah,
then
that's great.
If you don't mind, I'll try the panicetta.
Yeah, sure.
This one, right?
Yeah.
I got the right one there. Okay. So I think I've tried a couple of these before, but
Yeah.
I remember the garlic, the Parmesan one, I should say for sure. So
yeah.
okay, so this is the. I'll put myself back on the camera here. So this is the one you said is like the fancy bacon. Let's
Yes,
give this
yeah.
a shot.
Yeah, and that one you can use in different recipes. Like it's like good in carbonara. It's good in like if you do a bolognese,
Yeah.
and just chop it up into little chunks. Or it's really good if you slice it really thin and put it on top of like salads or pizzas, so it kind of gets nice and crispy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got lots of different uses for it, for sure.
It's delicious. I like that from the top to the bottom. Different textures because the kind of the white, I guess the fatty layer
Yeah.
is very kind of almost smooth, almost velvety.
Yeah, like
right?
velvety, yeah.
Compared to the top part, and then all that flavor in there is just wow, what a piece of meat this. And then again, what's this one I'm holding up again?
That one's the Copa, or dry aged capicola. I do like a cooked version of it as well, which only takes about 2 weeks. But this one, of course, was done at the same time as the pancetta. So once again, I started that process in December there, and then it came out, just this past week here.
Wow,
Yeah.
outstanding. Is there, does it matter kind of how long or how short you decide to dry age something? Could you say, I'm going to dry age this for 4 months if I want to? Or is that like out of bounds? Like you can't do that.
No, you certainly can. And it just depends on the size of the product and kind of what you're aiming for in dryness. What I usually aim for is just like a weight loss.
Okay.
Because after a certain point, that it means it's lost enough of its moisture content for it to be just like kind of where you want it to be for each kind of product. But I know there's like guys who can dry age a whole half of a pig like all together, and it takes like 2 to 3 years kind of thing of it just hanging there, which is, I definitely don't have the space for that, and I would love to at some point try making like the full leg of prosciutto and stuff like that too. It's just those kinds of rooms are, I'm getting there at some point.
Working on it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Joseph, you've got a few products kind of available right now. You are still kind of stocking up and getting ready for the farmers market season, which is coming up very quickly. But if people want to try things out from you now, they can, right? You've got a few products available they can buy?
Yeah. I'm really starting to start stocking up for the farmers market here, and getting more things into my chamber now that I've pulled some stuff out. And I will be selling some things at the Peace Vale Meat Shop, just out past the airport. They have their own products there as well that people can kind of look at, and they have like their own beef that they do sell there, and different other products. I think they have lamb and chickens as well, and some ground bison. And then I'll have just a couple of the things that we just showed here today. Just I have 3 different kinds of salamis, the Genoa, Parmesan, and I think I have a handful left of Cervelat, which is like has a smokier, mild flavor in it. And then I have, then the pancetta and the capicola here.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And finally, your smokehouse and charcuterie. Does that mean you'll prepare like a charcuterie board for people if they want? Is that a service you offer, or you just kind of offer the meats themselves?
Just the meats themselves, and like
Okay.
charcuterie just is the like what you would just call the meats.
Okay.
Charcuterie, I think it's really just a French word for just finely chopped or processed meats kind of thing. So
Okay.
it's nicer than being, meat guy. But
VanRook Meat Guy has not the same ring to it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Joseph from VanRook Smokehouse and Charcuterie. Again, you can buy his products at the Peace Vale Meat Shop. Right now, a couple of them. By the time farmers market season starts, you'll have a bit more, and you'll be at the farmers market as often as possible. Joseph, thank you so much for taking some time to bring us some samples and, of course, to talk a bit about your meat guy business.
Yeah, no worries. It's been fun.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. All right. The Energetic Eats is, of course, brought to you by the Fort St. John Co-op.
The Charlie Lake Fire Department is actively recruiting for the